Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel of OCD Recovery. Today I'm here with the part 2 TMS video of why do we see so-called treatment-resistant TMS in pain, fears, hyper-awareness. This also applies to CFS in different ways, CRPS, and yes, the origination of where it's coming from, whether it came out of nowhere, the nervous system became sensitized from a traumatic reason, whether there's a surgical operation or just a sporting injury, or it just developed because the person, as I like to call with this, has the OCD twist. Before I go any further, please subscribe. Hit that like button down below. I don't think there's really anyone right now who's working with more people with this, where they're like, why am I not getting better? I'm seeing these recovery stories. It's because, again, you have the OCD twist. The standard advice from these well-intentioned individuals, the big names in the TMS and pain fear community, are not going to get you better. They will keep you stuck long-term, not because they are maliciously thinking this, more than likely. Let's be real, they're probably not. They just do not understand the OCD twist. They do not understand the reassurance component. They do not understand unconditional self-life other acceptance. I follow the majority of these people because I have to take their information. It's part of the job I don't like doing, where I have to take their information and correct it, and why so many people are stuck. And I'm telling you right now, if you are stuck with TMS, if you're watching these videos, this video is for you. So again, click that subscribe button below, comment down below. I make it a point to go through all the comments as much as I can and give feedback when possible. Okay, so first of all, you can get better. Okay? Of course, there's no guarantee of recovery. We're going to talk about that, but you more than likely can make progress. Now, let's talk about why so many people are stuck, why these big names, the names that we all know, are not getting you to where you want to be. So let's go through all of them. They have very limited knowledge about OCD. Trying to understand the nuances of chronic OCD, chronic TMS, and CFS without living in this disorder space yourself and coming out the other side through a multiple-year journey is like reading 100 textbooks on World War II, looking a World War II veteran in the face and saying, I read 100 textbooks on Normandy, I know everything about it, and I know exactly what it's like to storm D-Day Beach and watch all your friends be killed in front of you. It's ridiculous. It doesn't mean they can't offer insight, but that connection, that emotional connection, whether it's addiction, whether it's OCD, more than likely the best information is coming from people who have been there. This is just common sense. The fact we've lost as a society is a little bit out there, but that is the reality of it. Again, they never had OCD themselves. They didn't have the OCD twist. A lot of these people did have pain problems. I know some of the big people had low back injuries. They had TMS in their own way, but they do not have OCD. So what you can get away with when you just have a TMS form of not having an OCD twist is going to look very, very, very different. I promise. No, it's only a couple. No. It's very different. And I promise you on that. Okay? They're giving you mantras. Anyone telling you this, you are safe, you are in no danger, the pain is a false signal, they do not know what they're talking about with an OCD twist. There's no other way to say it. You know it and I know it. I know you're watching this right now and some of you are thinking, gosh, he's really being kind of abrasive about this. No, it's because I don't want you to be stuck for the rest of your life following individuals that, again, do not understand the OCD twist and, again, never had OCD themselves, and you're going to be stuck on this train for the rest of your life looking for answers. They never read Ellis. There's no way you can recover from chronic OCD, TMS, CFS, and these treatment-resistant cases without an understanding of unconditional self-life other acceptance. I've never seen it, and I do not think it's possible, okay? They allow you to keep asking reassurance. I've worked with dozens and dozens of these cases where I say, the people you're working with, these big names, what are you talking about? And I say to myself, that's reassurance. That's reassurance. That's reassurance. That's not correct. That's reassurance. No wonder why you're stuck. Okay? And quick fixes, not being realistic about OCD recovery. When someone sits you down, they don't have to say this on the first call because it's very overwhelming. But if someone asks you and they say, look, how long do you think this is going to take? I have to say, look, there's no deadlines on this, but more than likely a couple of years. Moment on one of our webinars said, just put off on your calendar 2 to 3 years of this journey. It doesn't mean 2 years in, you're going to be where you are on day one, but to say that you're going to be more than likely fully, robustly recovered with unconditional self-life other acceptance for your worst case scenarios, with handling your specific case with how it applies to you, because there are some differences, of course, with TMS, with the OCD twist, with just standard OCD, but we're not going to go into that, okay? We'll talk about it in different videos, but it's going to be a more than likely a couple-year journey. These things are critical. Let's review again. They did not have OCD. They don't understand the knowledge, and they never read Ellis. They are going to keep you stuck. This right here, you are safe. You are not in danger. I promise you right now, dead end. Okay, let's go to the other side. So let's cover again what matters. These are the things that matter the most. Life is the exposure. As I always say, the long-term goal, within reason, depending on the person, and yes, I work with a lot of people who are bed-bound, house-bound, if they have CFS and ME, etc. Again, we're not going to go into the nuances, but the goal is to get your life looking eventually exactly as you would, within reason, if you did not have this. Let me say that again. The goal is to get you back in life. Life is the exposure. Sure, you can watch some videos, short-term exposures of people with the really bad conditions of this that can freak you out, and you have to learn to sit with that and deal with the uncertainty. Yes, but life is the exposure. No more hope videos. This has to stop. There are a couple channels with dozens and dozens of videos on hope. You are not allowed to watch those videos anymore. I get met with animosity. You have to learn to balance this. Hey, have you watched XYZ success videos dozens of times? I have. I've watched all of them. That's reassurance. You were holding on to hope in a reassurance manner, and that has to change. I know it feels hard. You have to read Dr. Albert Ellis, OCDrecovery.com, under the resource tab. You have to understand the principles from stubbornly refuse, how to stubbornly refuse, unconditional self-life, other acceptance. You have to understand the principles from Paul David and Claire Weeks, leaving things there, the myth of self-esteem, etc. All combines together for unconditional life acceptance. Sure, some self, sure, some other, but primarily life acceptance, okay? Unconditional life acceptance, that even if I have lingering pain, even if I don't get to where I want to be, that's the worst case scenario, and my life and quality of my life is hindered, I can still accept that without hating myself. Yes, that is possible. If you're watching this right now and you don't think that can be you, I promise you I've seen the worst cases turn their lives around. Okay, stop the mantras. These, bye-bye. I don't say anything myself. When you believe a belief, there are no reminders. It doesn't mean you don't reflect on things from time to time, but they do not understand that you will repeat this in your head like a mantra to calm yourself down. Recovery is not a maintenance thing where you're walking around trying to push, oh no, no, you're safe, don't worry, you're safe, no, you're safe. That is not gonna cut it for us. So you gotta stop the mantras. We don't need to become gladiators, but we do have to push the boundaries. This is hard for people. When they come in with TMS, if they're in a really, really bad spot, usually they are seeing me when they're at a very low. I'm not turning you into a Roman gladiator or a Navy SEAL overnight, and you never need to be that way. But you have to think about the road. You're standing in the road, and there's a line in the middle of the road. Behind it, standing where I am, is comfort. The line is like the safety barrier. You do not recover on this side of the line. You don't have to jump and swim 20 miles or 30 kilometers across the line. But you have to step not just over the line, you got to hopscotch a few times, come back, hopscotch a little bit more. You're going to have to get uncomfortable, which means your pain and your sensations are going to be distracting. They're going to cause you to not be present. They're going to ruin a lot of moments in the way that you want to enjoy it in the quality of your life. We can talk about that on the calls. Okay, decrease the negativity. There's no other way to say it. Understandable. The TMS space and the OCD space and the CPTSD space and the CFS and ME, there's a lot of negativity. You got to be careful with the negativity. Negativity begets negativity. Anger begets anger. You're going to be surrounded by negativity all of the time. You can't avoid it. I deal with negativity all day. It has no effect on me. But you engaging in constant venting, reassurance, negativity, how much you hate your life, how much unfair your life is. Yes, that has to go. You're not going to drop it overnight. Again, this is not like I used an example on a call earlier today. OCD, TMS, with all of it, CFS, all recovery from a loved one being, lost in an accident. It's not cracking an egg and it all comes out at once. It's, as Rob says, peeling the onion layers off. It's going to take time. Excuse me. Okay, number 7 is the most important thing. Acceptance versus pain-free versus free of pain. Acceptance is free of pain, which means I'm going to put the work in, give myself the best opportunity, but even if I don't get to a state of pain-free, as frustrating as that is, life doesn't owe me anything. I can still enjoy my life as best as I can. I know it's not what you want to hear. Telling you, that's the movement we're going towards. Pain-free is not real. Humans feel pain. I feel pain right now. I'm staying on my feet. My knees are a little bit achy because I've been running a lot in the woods, and I golf because I have no self-control. I played 56 holes in the last 3 days, and everything. I have soreness, I have aches, I lift 5 days a week, all that stuff. I sit, I do calls. My body feels things. The response I have, my nervous system is no longer sensitized because my belief system is based around, again, unconditional life acceptance have changed over an extended period of time, and yours can too with the correct approach. Okay, skills for handling the ups and downs. This is critical. You will need to learn to handle the ups and downs. In the beginning, you are going to have a lot more downs. There are multiple stages of this journey. Let's say you have had no good moments for years, and you start to have some good moments, and then you fall off that high moment. I was listening to a talk recently of a famous investor saying that when you're at a high place and you fall to a low place, it feels even worse because you have something to compare it to. I have to teach you the skills for handling these things, but you have to put them into practice. It's going to seem impossible, but this is very important. And again, finally, patience, open-mindedness to maybe everything you've been listening to, unfortunately, with tidbits or moderate information that's been correct when you have, again, the OCD twist, and again, they have no understanding of OCD, and again, they've never read Ellis, the chances of you getting better are zero. Zilch. Not even 1%. Not even 1. It's just the way it goes. Open-mindedness, consistency, grit, willingness to suffer. Willingness to suffer. You have to be prepared to feel everything. And I mean absolutely everything. This is going to take time. Cracking the egg, it's not going to come out at once. You're going to have to peel those onion layers like we say. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. I can help you. I can show you how to get better. Again, all the people I'm talking about, they're great. I always say, if we all went out to a vacation and had some beers and smoked some cigars and went on a vacation, we'd have a great time. We just more than likely are not going to agree on this, which is totally fine. Agreeing with everyone on everything is fucking boring, okay? But the reality is, without understanding the nuances of the OCD twist, mixing with the TMS, and having the background on the knowledge of the pain and everything, plus coming out the other side of hyper-awareness, sensory motor sensations myself, all mixed together in the cauldron, the witch cauldron, I'm telling you right now, that is how I know what is going to show you how to change your belief systems to get better. I have now been working again at this for a long time with a lot of people from all over the world who are making progress, and they could not believe that some of the stuff, and I said to them, it's not their fault. They don't understand the OCD part. If you bang your knee and you develop this in your knee and it goes to full body pain and you have milder OCD, but it's not chronic, and the way we have it, you can get away with some of this stuff. And by the way, I still wouldn't recommend this. I want to end it on that. OCD or not, this doesn't make any sense to me, because that's reassurance. And then reassurance happens in life, but like this is fluff. There's no true acceptance here. Even when people have recovered to the way they think they are and they're still using mantras, there's probably a little bit more than that. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Hope you like this video. Hope to hear from you soon. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.